Like the NBA Finals, everybody knows the Heat won, but let's look at some more, dissect this a little bit more. The Heat Spurs.
Let's break it down, baby.
You made the comment to me that it reminded you a lot of sort of 1980s basketball. Not for the shorts, but because of the play on the court. And I think Game 7, where both teams were laboring, really reminded me of Lakers Celtics and like a Game 7 in the Garden, where it was so hot and the guys were fatigued. It wasn't the best basketball, but this series, the last game wasn't. The series really, to me, if you're a young basketball fan, would suck you in. It just was reminding me, it had me glued to the TV because it was such. They made the extra passes, both teams. The guy that was open made the shot. Go figure, because there's so many times where you shoot a three-pointer and they miss it, or like, go to the hoop. Well, in this case, it really worked. It was effective basketball. And the games came down to little crucial decisions here or there. I think Popovich maybe in Game 7 not lengthening his bench a little bit, whereas the Heat bring in a Battier who only played 13 minutes in Game 6. He was fresher. He played great in Game 7. And crucial moments, hit big shots that helped to keep him.
It's very strange. It's very strange what you were just talking about with the coaches and the use of the role players. You know what it comes down to is when you get to these final series, the superstars play a bigger role because they play a bigger percentage of the minutes. But around the margins, these role players are huge. Think of Mike Miller last year. Think of Battier in Game 7 the other night. There's no question about it. And I've never seen a coach like Erik Spoelstra use his role players the way he does. Where like Norris Cole did not play in Game 6 and 7 of this series, and there were other games where in the playoffs where Battier did not play, and Chris Anderson did not play, and so on and so forth. And then other times where these guys were huge. It is strange, but talking about the 80s, I think the NBA is in a good place right now. Sports evolve over time. And as they evolve, sometimes the defense gets way ahead of the offense. Sometimes the offense gets way ahead of the defense. It's sort of what kind of officiating is in vogue, what kind of coaching is in vogue, and to some extent what kind of players the United States basketball system is producing. But anyway, my point is, I think right now all of that stuff has worked to put pro basketball in a good place. And you will see at stretches, you will see basketball that kind of feels like what to me is the NBA in the 80s, which to me was the best that any American team sport has ever been. You see, it feels like that sometimes.
You know, it's a copycat league, just like every other major sports league is. And when you see two teams that play team ball, it's going to be contagious. And maybe use the three effectively, where you use the extra pass to get the guy open, and he shoots a quality shot. Going back to what I was saying about the Spurs real quick, if DeJuan Blair or even Tracy McGrady comes into that game, maybe the fresh set of legs makes a difference in there, because I liked how he used Parker by giving him some extra minutes, but these guys were just spent at the end. Game 6, the Spurs put all their effort into that, all the energy into it, and they almost got the win. They were 5 seconds.
Came as close as you can come. Up 5 with 28 seconds left.
Exactly. And I want to say it this way. The Spurs left the door open for Miami, and they didn't just slip in, or Spurs didn't give them this win. They left the door open, and the Spurs the Heat took a bulldozer through it.
Yeah, I mean,
LeBron James made some huge shots, and deservedly was MVP. Came up huge. He didn't get to rest very much in Game 7. They played him, and he didn't come out. Dwayne Wade, I don't know how he found a way to get his knees to work again in Game 7, but played like the old Dwayne Wade used to play, and that was really the difference. When the Spurs were hanging in there, a basket back, 2 points back, I kept thinking they're going to pull this out, because when they stay close, they wear a team down. In this case, they got worn down. One
of the things that is that is underrated about it, LeBron James, and I mean LeBron James by himself is the subject of 15 segments, but one of the things is his stamina. When you look at the basketball that he's played over the last 2.5 years or so, including the Olympics, the amount of minutes and the amount of impetus that's on him, the responsibility he has for everything his teams have done, that's one of the most amazing things about him. Now, the NBA this year, this whole season, was defined so much by injuries. If you look at Derrick Rose and you look at Westbrook and you look at even Kevin Love and on and on and on. So it's going to be a much different NBA next year with Doc Rivers coaching the Clippers and lots of player moves, Derrick Rose back, Westbrook back. It's a much different NBA going forward. So this whole thing, the Heat are a dynasty, please, it's not even close, but the sport's in a good good place right now.
I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew Bynum play. No, I'm kidding. The
I've heard of
TV
him.
ratings were huge this year, 17.7 million, up from about 5% from last year. They got great ratings Game 6, about 12 midnight Eastern, because the West Coast could catch up with it when it went overtime. But think about 2 years ago, 2003, when the Nets played the Spurs. Spurs are just on, they need a big team. Only 9.86 million viewers watched. And when they won in 2007, they swept the Cavs, LeBron James's Cavs, 9.3 million. So this was a series, people saw what we saw, which was good quality basketball.
Now, I hope you're right.
LeBron James, you could really see, as much as he's great stamina and a great athlete, the confidence factor. As this series went on, he got more confident, and that showed in Game 7.
No question.